Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. Jason Bradley, the founder of Epic Functional Medicine Center and the creator and developer of the Epic 5 plan, which our detoxification that we're going through right now is based on. Epic 5 plan, of course, is the 5 pillars of health that we've used to help people reclaim their health, reclaim their happiness, reclaim their lives over the last couple of decades. Really been refining that over the last 5 years and really documenting it over the last couple of years. Those 5 pillars, of course, as you guys keep hearing me say, are hydration, how to eat, how to move, how to manage stress, and how to sleep. And we found that when people master those 5 elements, they are, able to take control of a lot of their health concerns. Couple that with personalized functional medicine care, where we hone in on, getting the bad stuff out of the body, putting the good stuff back in the body, and it's just a slam dunk victory for almost everyone. Without further ado, today, I think I've lost track, but I think it's day 12 of our detox. And we are going to talk about some advanced detoxification techniques. And, the detox is interesting. We use that term, very broadly. And most people, when they're thinking about detox, they're thinking about, hey, I'm going to eat a little bit better, or, hey, I'm going to quit drinking for a period of time, or, hey, I'm going to quit smoking. And the problem with that perspective, it's a great place to start, but the problem with that perspective is that ultimately, when we're talking about detox, we're really talking about laying down a foundation that we implement for a period of time. In this case, it's 21 days. But as my clients know, on our teachable material, we have an entire section called day 22 and beyond, because ultimately we are laying down that foundation, but we're really just setting up principles that we can start implementing now to start serving our health needs now, but then continuing them over, weeks, months, years, decades to come, so that we can all be the happiest and healthiest people on this planet that we can be. So again, when we're talking about this stuff, in my opinion, I'm not talking about a fad diet that we're going to do for 21 days. I'm not talking about, hey, let's try this out and see if it works. I'm really talking about a commitment to yourself. I'm talking about a commitment to yourself for yourself. I would have you guys go back and revisit the day and the video on your big why. Why are we doing this? Well, I want to be healthy. Why do you want to be healthy? I want to be healthy, as you guys know, because I've almost lost my life a number of times. I've made my peace with God. I've done my bargaining with God. I'm still here on this planet. And my bargain with God was, I want to be the best dad that I can be. I want to be the best husband I can be. I want to be the best doctor and provider that I can be on this planet, and serve my family and serve my clients to the best of my abilities every single day, from the minute that my eyes open in the morning until I need to, call it a day and rest and take care of myself. So self-preservation, self-care is one of the most important things that we need to learn to prioritize. We are taught, especially here in the Midwest, we are taught to give strangers shirts off our backs and, do good works and acts of kindness. But the reality is, the best good work and the best kindness that you can give is to yourself. If you are not your best self, you cannot be the best for other people. If you cannot be the best for other people, you cannot serve them to the best extent that you can. So again, this is all about you. This is a time to learn to prioritize you. This is a time to learn to prioritize health. That's going to include dietary choices, drinking more water, getting good sleep, all of that stuff that's necessary to really take control, again, of your health and your happiness. But it's not going to be for a few days or a few weeks. This is really foundational health that you guys should be implementing ongoing. Now, I know a lot of you guys have reached out and you want to know more about personalized care. If you want to know more, you can PM me on Facebook. You can certainly reach out through info@epicfmc.com. We are readily available. You can certainly go to the Calendly account. I think it's calendly.com/epicfmc/enrollment. Usually I post that stuff in the text field when I'm posting videos. But by all means, reach out. Listen, if you need help, I don't care if you've been told there is no help. I don't care if you've been told that you're going to have to feel this way the rest of your life. I don't care if you've been to the world specialists and they've said X, Y, and Z. The reality is, if you can hear this message and you're suffering, there is hope. We can help you figure out what you need to be doing for your body and really, honing on your personal medical needs, getting the toxins out of the body, lowering hormones that are running rampant in your system and causing problems, repleting nutrients, repleting deficient hormones. creating balance in your body. There's so much that can be done. And any doctor or any provider that basically is saying there's nothing more that we can do, here's what they're saying: there's nothing more that they can do. It means that they've extended all of their knowledge base into what they've told you, and they're basically giving up. And to me, that would tell me you need a better provider. You need someone else that's willing to dig in with you, to partner with you, to really get to those root causes. And I want you guys to find that person. If you want to know how we work with clients, by all means, like I said, reach out. If we don't feel like you're a good fit, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We don't take every case. We only take cases that we know that we can help, that we know that we can turn things around, that we know that we can get them to be their best that they can be. And we partner with those patients, and we connect with them every single week, sometimes every single day, as needed, to help support them and guide them on their journey. We get objective laboratory tests done so that we can know exactly what their body needs. But listen, if for some reason the way that we go about things is not a perfect fit for you, we will also go out of our way to connect you with the colleague that we feel would be the best fit. So by contacting us, it is a win for you. It is a great first step forward. And you're not going to lose anything. It doesn't cost anything to contact us. We are going to give you so much value just with a conversation. And again, if you're not a good fit for us, we're going to make sure you're a good fit for somebody else and get you to that person. We like to be people's last stop in their health journey. But you know what? If we're not your last stop, we're probably your next to last stop. And hopefully we are your last stop, and we're here to help and serve. That said, guys, today we're going to talk about advanced detoxification techniques that you can implement right now along with this detox. When I was thinking about this, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I'll kind of recap a little bit. Hold on one second. There we go. I'll recap a little bit. When I talk about detoxification, I'm talking about the science behind detox, the biochemistry behind detox, the physiology behind detox. Again, I'm not talking about some hippy-dippy short-term diet that you might lose 5 pounds. I'm talking about substantial, scientific, objective, evidence-based data that we can apply to our lives right now. The entire EPIC 5 metabolic detoxification plan is based on evidence-based literature and based on the outcomes that we've achieved over the last 20 years with our clients. And really, like I said, honing in over the last couple of years with the research. But that's just a small part of it. I mentioned the EPIC 5, those 5 pillars. That's part of it too. And certainly on our Teachable, we have a whole bunch of more information with that. But I'm going to share with you guys something that hasn't even uploaded to Teachable yet, because I'm not done creating the document. I haven't got the references put in yet, and I certainly haven't made it pretty with graphics and stuff like that that everybody wants, color and graphics and texts and references and resources. So this is literally my outline for our talk today. I'll be uploading this probably later this afternoon to Teachable. At our epic5.teachable.com site, we have an entire curriculum, as you guys know, and we're uploading new documents every single day. I think my lead health coach, Dan, today we have grand rounds every morning. We talk about tough cases and kind of planning on our day and helping each other. Dan said that he's going to shoot a video on how to make a skillet meal, a really simple skillet meal, basically incorporating the EPIC 5 meal plan, again, with vegetables, greens, vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, non-nightshade colored vegetables, try to say that fast, healthy fats, healthy proteins. I don't know if he'll put berries in there. We'll see what Dan does. And then acids in the meal as well. Dan's going to make a quick skillet meal. He's going to talk about the benefits of the foods. He's going to talk about how to make a skillet meal and get it all done, hopefully, fingers crossed, in less than 15 minutes. We'll see if Dan can pull that off. But nonetheless, he's going to be uploading that as well. We always are uploading tools and resources for you guys, so much more than we can cover. Even if we did, like we're doing an hour a day, almost every day on webinars, there's so much material that we can't cover. So again, if you're not taking advantage of the Teachable, I recommend that you do. You don't have to do this detox, but you're going to get so much more value and so much more content and so much more direction. And again, let us know how we can help with that. So I'm going to share with you guys this document that I'm working on. Let's actually, you know what, before I do that, I wanted to share one quick personal thing. At the end of my video yesterday on day 11, I mentioned that, we were having some kind of health issues, stress-induced PTSD type stuff with our daughter, Violet, our younger daughter, Violet. And I was so proud of her yesterday. After I did that video, that kid really all by herself. No, I mean, of course she had encouragement, support, and love, but nobody telling her she had to do this. She literally got herself, in a good space. I won't go into details, but got herself into a real good space and faced some demons yesterday, faced some challenges, and kicked those demons' butt. I'm so proud of her. Just the fact that she did it literally brought tears to my eyes. If you guys ever want to see me cry, pull on the heartstrings that are related to my kids and my family. That's the thing that'll get right to the core of both my good, gratitude tears and then also my sadness tears. But listen, I just want to share that and give you guys an update. I'm so proud of her. She is such a warrior. She is such a winner. And I mean, for being 15 and facing what she's facing, God, she's just amazing. And I'm so proud of her. But nonetheless, just a little win. I wanted to share that with you guys. Perfect. All right. I guess we're already recording, which I'm glad, because I forgot to press record. So I'm glad that's going. I'm going to share this document, guys, and get going into advanced detoxification techniques. And again, this is just a schematic of things that I wanted to chat about. Some of these things we've already talked about. Some of these things you might have heard of. Some of these things you might never have heard of before. Hopefully, a lot of this is just a gentle reminder. There's nothing, almost nothing on here that costs anything to do except to remember to do it and to incorporate it into your daily life. The first thing, and these are in no particular order. Probably when I do this, I'm going to do this out of the 1 through 12 order, and I might even add some more things in there. But the first thing that I wanted to say is, this is a foods-based detox. That is because there is no pill, no product, no powder, no potion that can bring you health. The only thing that can bring you health is you and your commitment to you. We might need to utilize certain substances, whether they're medicines, botanical medicines, glandular medication, bioidentical hormones, supplements, nutrients. There might be a time and a place for that stuff for your personal chemistry, but ultimately, none of that stuff's going to bring you health. All that's going to do is either help with symptoms or help support your system as it's healing. But once your system is healed, guys, you shouldn't need pills, powders, potions, etc. So again, you'll notice that on this list, there is nothing on this list that is a pill, a powder, or a potion, because that's not where true health comes from, and that's not where detox comes from. Guys, the first thing that you can do is just keep committing to eating real, whole food, just like we've outlined for you, just like I reviewed. Vegetables, fats, proteins, berries, acids, and then water again. Water as the foundation. Guys, we are what we eat. If we eat crappy food, we're going to feel crappy. If we eat real, whole food, we're going to feel whole. It is that simple. It doesn't happen necessarily overnight, although I've heard overnight miracles. I've seen people with high blood sugars. I mean, even on medications, running in the 120s and 130s, change their diet, and within 24 hours, see that blood sugar stabilize down into the 70s. In fact, I've seen it drop so quickly just by changing from a standard American diet to the Epic 5 plan, that now when we have diabetic patients that come in that are on medication, I have to tell them, you better watch your blood sugar. It could drop very quickly. We may need to decrease your meds very, very quickly, or even go off of those meds very, very quickly. So again, eating real foods, whole foods, will help your body feel whole. So again, they're full of not only vitamins and minerals and fiber and antioxidants and all of that stuff, but phytonutrients. There are chemicals in plants that will help manipulate our hormones in a good way, help balance out our brain chemistry, rejuvenate our fluids, rejuvenate our cells, help with intercellular communication and DNA regulation, immune system regulation. The list goes on and on. There is no man-made food that is box can, wrap, packaged, processed, or otherwise manipulated by man that can do the work that whole foods can do. You are doing yourself a disservice by buying anything that is not a whole food. At first it can be a little challenge because we get used to convenience foods, but guys, those convenience foods are making you sick and toxic. And literally the number one thing that you can do to help yourself is eat real whole food. Again, to quote Michael Pollan, Omnivore's Dilemma, eat real food, mostly vegetables and not too much. And again, we nuanced that Epic 5 plan around that. You'll notice that that's number 12. But in real time here, I'm actually going to move that maybe up to number 1. So now I messed up my whole thing there, but I'm moving that up to number 1. The other thing is, I mentioned this a few times in that Epic Green Smoothie. I want you guys to make sure that you're getting fiber in. How much fiber? Nobody knows. We have a lot of guidelines. I've watched over my 20 years of practice. It's gone up from 20 to 25 to 30 to 35. Some recommendations are up to 45 grams a day. When we really dig into the literature, it seems like the healthiest people on the planet have at least 50 grams of fiber a day. So for most of my clients, I recommend 50 grams of fiber. Is that appropriate for you? I don't know. Ask your provider. Probably. Interestingly, pulling from my anthropology background, again, some of you guys know that before I got into healthcare, I was in graduate school in anthropology. I did my undergraduate. I actually had a triple major in undergraduate. I did anthropology, English literature, and comparative religions. And I minored in classics and philosophy. So, it prepared me to be super well-rounded and get no job except a professorship. So I went into grad school in anthropology. My undergraduate anthropology studies were in physical and functional anthropology, where I was looking at the anthropological records, prehistory, early writing, and then looking at the way society developed around the function that humans needed to live together. And it's interesting, I'm in functional medicine now. I think there's probably a correlation there. My brain has probably always worked that way. When I went into graduate school, I went into economic anthropology, and again, studied, again, to date me, Ireland's incorporation into the European Union. I got to spend some time over there working with some of the governmental agencies, and then also working with smallhold farms. That's what they're called, of their family farms, smallhold farms that had borrowed massive amounts of money from banks to increase their modernization, so to speak, so they could trade their dairy products into the EU. And the banks were foreclosing on those small farms just because they couldn't keep up with the payments. So farms that had been families for hundreds of years were being taken over by corporate farms. And again, I was interested in that because being from Iowa, that happened in the 80s. So that was my graduate research when I was in anthropology. Interesting stuff. Didn't stick with it. I ended up coming back to the States, and after presenting my research, ended up going into medicine and took, what was it? I think 2 years of medicine in an accelerated program over 6 months. That program's not even available anymore because nobody could seem to pass it. I was one of the lucky few that made the cut. And then I've never looked back, and I've had my head down and in medicine and in research ever since. But the anthropological record on fiber is pretty clear. The anthropological record says that our ancestors probably consumed, and we get this again from fecal matter that's left behind from our human ancestors, and then also in like food stores that we would find, in caves and buried in the ground and stuff like that. We think that our ancestors probably consumed up to 100 grams of fiber a day. 100 grams, that's a lot. And in fact, we have some cultures that still exist here on the earth, some, non-westernized, tribal cultures that still consume up to 100 grams of fiber a day. So it's really interesting that, that seems to be what the human state was at some point until we got into some domestication. And then certainly when we got into industrialized food, guys, industrialized food destroys fiber. So if you look at the typical American, they're consuming about 20 grams, 25 grams of fiber a day if they're lucky. And again, our goal for most people is around 50 grams. So one of the things that you can do very easily is just add psyllium seed husk, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds into your Epic Green smoothie. We add seeds to our cooking a lot. I've been, is it called roasting? I don't know if that's the right word, broccoli lately, once in a while. Let me explain what I mean by roasting. I put broccoli in an iron skillet. I cover it in some type of oil, avocado oil, or sesame oil usually. And then I put some seeds on there, some salt and pepper. Sometimes I put garlic, sometimes other things, kind of mix that up and stick it in the oven until it looks done. And by looks done, it's turned really green. and it has maybe a little charring, from the heat, but it's still really crunchy, cooked but crunchy, right? So we add seeds to our cooking quite a bit, but you could certainly add it to your Epic Green smoothie. 1 little tablespoon of psyllium seed or chia seeds has 5 or even a little bit over 5 grams of fiber. 1 tablespoon of hemp or flax has a little over 2.5 grams of fiber, 2.7 grams of fiber. So again, an easy way to get fiber. It's whole foods based, it's on plan, and you can buy that stuff in bulk at most grocery stores these days, at least that are making an effort to have bulk foods. And certainly if you go to Whole Foods or Natural Grocers, or probably your local co-op, like we have New Pioneer co-op here in Iowa City, you're going to be able to find that stuff in bulk, and it's dirt cheap, and it's safe for most people. I will say, if you're at 20 grams, I wouldn't go to 50 grams right away overnight. I would work your way up a little bit, maybe going up by 2.5 grams a day, every couple of days, every few days, making sure that you can handle the change. When we change our fiber load, our gut bacteria will change as well. Now that's a good thing. We're growing new bacteria, but while we're growing new bacteria, old bacteria is dying off. And when old bacteria is dying off, if you back even the nicest dog into the corner, they're going to bare their teeth. And, when we're killing bacteria off with food changes, you may notice some changes. It's called die-off. And we recognize this quite a bit with gastrointestinal medicine. In fact, I warn my patients about die-off once in a while. In the old days, when people would make changes from, maybe poor destructive choices to healthy constructive choices, people would note that they might not feel really good right away. Some ways they feel good, some days they feel worse. And there was a doctor named Dr. Herxheimer that noted this. And so some people call this, when you feel bad before you feel good, a Herxheimer's reaction, or some people call it herxing. And certainly that's true. If you go off caffeine, good job, but you might get a caffeine headache, right? That would be called herxing from a caffeine withdrawal. So again, when you're adding fiber in, it's a good choice, but go slowly and let your gut adapt, right? Second thing we can do is we can start incorporating some medicinal teas. Yesterday, we talked about the way milk thistle, I didn't really add in burdock, dandelion root, green tea and those pieces, but they can help with phase 2 hepatic detoxification, right? Where we're taking those water-soluble waste products and putting them through, processes like glucuronidation, glutathione conjugation, acetylation, sulfation. I know I missed one in there, but anyway, there's amino acid conjugation. I know there's still one more. There's so much to memorize, but nonetheless, we talked about that, and some herbs can upregulate or improve phase 2 hepatic detoxification, meaning get more junk out of your body. I do not like tinctures, especially ones that are in alcohol. I feel like we're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. But what we can do is get some medicinal teas. And in fact, there's a brand of teas called Traditional Medicinals. They're organic, and they have a detox tea that has all that stuff in there. So you could throw that stuff, into some water and drink that down. It's not going to hurt you unless by some freak chance you're allergic to something that's in there. So again, always consult somebody. This is just general advice. But at the same time, you can drink that stuff down. Not to mention that green tea is also high in a group of chemicals called catechins, and catechins help break down excess hormones in the body. So really easy there. A lot of toxicity is excess hormonal toxicity, like we talked about yesterday. So catechins can really help with that. I'm a big fan of matcha tea, MATHCA. I like to get organic matcha tea, and we have a wonderful Asian market. We have a lot of Asian markets actually here in Iowa City. We're very blessed, but we have one that's not too far down the road, and they have my matcha tea sitting, right out on the cash register, so I can just go in, grab it, and a few dollars later, I keep myself filled up with matcha tea. While we're at it, next thing was hydrate. You'll notice I held up my water glass, and my water drinking device. This is the one I'm using right now. But we want to keep ourselves hydrated, guys. The solution to pollution is dilution. Again, for most people, that's 3 or 4 liters a day, 100 to 125-ish ounces a day for most people, or half your body weight in ounces, whichever is more. Certainly you can use water as a vehicle to get acid into your body, like lemon juice, lime juice. You could put a little dash, not a pour, but a little dash of iodized sea salt in there to keep your electrolytes up. So there's a lot that you could do with water and the vehicle of water. When I was first increasing my water intake, I had a really hard time, remembering to do it. So I used my smartphone. I have an iPhone, and I used my smart device to remind me, and that didn't even work. I would try to put, like a reminder on there that would, beep at me every once in a while. I thought that with my, my iWatch and my iPhone and my iComputer and my everything, that it would all be connected and remind me to drink water, but it didn't. The thing that helped me was this thing called the H2O Pal. So H2OPal.com. One of my friends told me about it, and it's a smart water bottle. And it kind of makes a game. You get points and you can unlock levels, with your smart device. And really what it does is there's a little weight in the bottom. And so every time you take a drink and set it back down, it syncs with your smart device and it says, you drank this much water. If you don't drink water every hour, it sends you a note. And you want to win these points, at least if you're like me. I like winning. So I got really in the habit of drinking water by using my H2O Pal. I love my H2O Pal. I meant to have it on screen for you guys here today, and I forgot to grab it. It's in the kitchen, which is a couple rooms away from from my office here. As you guys know, I have a home office and I love it. But nonetheless, the H2O Pal is great. If you guys want to go to H2OPal.com and look at it, I highly recommend it. I don't endorse many products, but I did get you guys a discount code. Just type in the words EPIC FMC. And again, you can see that right here, highlighted on the screen, EPIC FMC, for a discount. And I think you get like $20 off. It's a pretty substantial discount, maybe free shipping. One thing I want to say about that company, their glass bottles, I mean, they're great. There's, they're glass, they're clean, they're a dishwasher. I mean, I go on and on about it, right? I dropped mine after I'd been using it for a few months, not days, months. Dropped it, shattered it, even though it's really thick glass. It just shattered. It was a big drop from a higher area. And I contacted the company and I said, hey, you know what? I've got the weight. I've got the cap. There's like little rubber handholds so you don't drop the glass, even though I did. I said, I have all that stuff. I just need the glass bottle. That's all that I need. Is there any way that I could just get that and not purchase the whole thing again? Guys, they sent me a brand new H2O Pal. And again, that's why that was the kind of the ceiling deal, so to speak, when I endorsed that company. Their customer service is great. I can't endorse a product more for water and hydration. It syncs with any smart device. It doesn't have to be an Apple device. It can sync with your computer, your smartwatch, anything. I love that company, H2OPal.com. Hydrate, guys. The solution to pollution is dilution. Guys, breathing. I mentioned yesterday that we have a lot of detox organs. We're kind of focusing on the liver right now for this detox. But really, our GI tract, again, we threw fiber in there today and water in the rest of our cells, but also our lungs, our skin, and the lungs. Every time we're breathing out, we are getting rid of noxious gases. Our body will use anything that it can to get rid of waste products. So again, just breathing, not to mention that doing some deep breathing exercises is calming to the body, calming to the brain. And in fact, I've been practicing a breathing technique where I breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 6 seconds, and breathe out for 7 seconds. And I do that, I don't know, for a couple minutes. And I can tell you that it activates my parasympathetic nervous system, which is my calming nervous system. And it deactivates my sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response. And this is something that's been well documented in the literature. Effectively, what the literature says is breathing techniques where the exhalation is longer than the inhalation activates that parasympathetic relaxation response. So I've been working on this myself, but also that long exhalation is getting rid of gases, getting rid of noxious fumes and gases from your system, noxious chemistry that it can. So again, take advantage of it and spend a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes midday, and a few minutes in the evening just breathing. Trust me, you'll like it, and you can thank me when you're happy and healthy at 100. While you're breathing, guys, do some gratitudes. I don't know when I started doing gratitudes, but man, I live in gratitudes as much as I can all day long. I start my day, giving thanks and being grateful. just for the day, for having another day and another opportunity to live, another opportunity to love, and another opportunity to serve. And then I go through my family, literally individually, and then specifically little things about each individual. I go through my friends, I go through my extended family. I'm grateful for the people that I forgot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the people that are loving and supporting us, that I don't even know are loving and supporting us, that invisible support, and that invisible love that we don't even realize is there. I get grateful for certainly our clinic and being able to serve people and the knowledge and the wisdom that we have. Grateful for things like our house and a roof over our head and heat that works and running water and flushing toilets and electricity, and all of that stuff, guys. The more grateful I am, I tell you what, the happier I am, the healthier I am, the healthier I am, the better I take care of myself. Guys, so gratitudes are key, and I would recommend that you guys do that. The other thing that I've noticed, I sleep pretty well. I used to not, but as I mentioned, our younger daughter's been going through some very serious stuff that triggered some PTSD, and we're going to work through it. And like I said, she's a warrior and a fighter and a winner. And we've turned a corner as of this week. It was a big win. I would say it's a small baby step, but it was such a big win, and we have a lot of more steps to go. But I was having some issues sleeping because I would wake up worried and wake up with anxiety in the middle of the night, and my heart racing and my mind racing. And I don't like taking medications. And so, I know if I used to take medications for sleep, and I would wake up feeling drunk and groggy, and my brain didn't work. And God knows I have a face for radio, and not even I have a crackly voice for that as well, right? And all that I really have is my brain to help serve you guys for the most part. And the reality is, I didn't want to feel drugged. I didn't want to feel in a stupor. I didn't want to feel slow. So I don't like to take those medications. And a lot of times I would just sit there and breathe and do all the stuff they tell you to do. But I started doing gratitudes when I would wake up with my anxiety. I literally started doing gratitudes, and sure enough, man, I would fall asleep doing my gratitudes. And I realized that what I'm doing is I'm distracting my brain from the worry and putting it into a positive space. And in that positive space, I was a lot calmer, and I would just drift right back into sleep. So now if I wake up in the middle of the night, which I don't that often, but if I do, and I can't get back to sleep, which is rare, I just do gratitudes. And it works. It's like a drug itself. I have some other sleep techniques that we share in our epic5.teachable.com curriculum. But that's a great one, gratitudes. That one's not even in there yet. I haven't written it in yet. It's kind of a new awareness for me. But gratitudes, guys. I wrote down, transform your stress by emphasizing positive emotions. So I like that. I should actually move sleep up just a little bit here, because that would be a great time to talk about doing gratitudes with sleep. But, turn off the screens an hour before bed. Get in bed early and shoot for a solid 8 hours of sleep. Get into a routine. Go to bed every single night at the same time. Get those. I don't know what your schedule's like, but turn the screens off at 9. Get in bed at 9 o'clock. Read a book if you want. That's fine. I do audiobooks. So I got my lights out. I'm listening to an audiobook. It's the only time I listen to fiction. During the day, I only listen to nonfiction and those types of books, either sciencey books or motivational books. The book that I actually have a hard copy of this right now. The book I'm listening to right now is High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. Awesome coach. I want this guy to be, he will be one of my next coaches. I'm not quite ready for him yet. But nonetheless, I love that book and I'm listening to it. He actually sent me a hard copy of that for downloading his Audible. So I got like a 2-for-1 deal. That book hasn't been cracked. It's sitting there just to remind me to do the Audible. But nonetheless, at night I listen to Audible books. I got the lights out. I put a timer on it for 60 minutes. Hardly ever am I still awake when the timer goes off. I'm usually asleep at 10 or before 10. Rachel has an alarm set for 6 a.m. Typically, I'm up before 6 a.m. Sometime between 5 and 5:30. Once in a while, 5:45. But typically, that's my schedule. And guys, I'm like clockwork. And the more that you can start treating your body like a machine and demanding, an exact and precise science from it. I'm turning my lights out at 9. Here's my 9 to 10 o'clock routine. I am going to be asleep by 10. I will get up at 6. Your body will get in that habit. It's not going to happen overnight. It may take days, weeks, months. But again, you'll get there. Sleep, guys, is when your cells repair. Sleep is when you guys and our cells are fixing themselves, getting rid of waste products. The liver for detoxification works the most in the evening, right? Because that's when we're doing a lot of our metabolism, working through that junk. So again, sleep is important. If you're not sleeping, you're not detoxifying. If you're not sleeping, you're not repairing. If you're not sleeping, you're not creating energy at the capacity that you should be. So again, sleep is key. Get in a routine. I love this next one, hydrotherapy. In naturopathic medical school, we talk a lot about hydrotherapy. There's sitz baths. There's this hydrotherapy technique here. There's a ton of them, but I love this one. Take a very hot shower. Please don't burn yourself for about 5 minutes, and then flip it to cold water for 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, go back to hot, go back to cold, go back to hot, go back to cold. And then what I'm supposed to tell you guys is end with the cold, turn it off. What I do is I do the cold and then turn it back up to a little warm so that I'm not freezing, especially in the winter. Wrap yourself in a towel and go to bed. Guys, that hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold kind of manipulates what we call thermogenesis in the system. And it kind of confuses the system, to be honest. You've got vasodilation, vasoconstriction, the thyroid's acting, it's not acting. The body's like, what the heck is going on? And it's a little system override. And when we have a system override, sometimes it goes into shutdown mode. It's a great way to kick in sleep. And again, also with that hot bath, we're dilating the blood, or hot shower, we're dilating the blood vessels. And anytime we dilate blood vessels, we're going to start kicking toxins out through the skin. I'm not recommending this, but that's why you see niacin used in a lot of detox techniques, because niacin will cause blood vessel dilation and sometimes sweating, right? That's why people break out in a niacin flush, a niacin rash. The reason that we don't recommend it, I used to in my detox techniques, is because there's some literature out there that for folks that are on diabetic medication need to stay away from it. That's a third of the population of the United States. That's a lot of people. And then also people just don't like the way it feels. So you can emulate that here, and also it's going to help you sleep. So I like that hydrotherapy technique. While we're speaking of hydrotherapy, go sweat it out in a sauna. So far, nothing that we've talked about would cost anything. If you happen to have a sauna, use it. If you don't have a sauna, think about a membership somewhere. Rachel and I do not have a sauna, and we also don't have a membership anywhere that has a sauna. We did belong to a gym that had a sauna, and we would sit in it when we would go. And then we created a home gym down in our basement, and the basement gym. And it's really fancy, let me tell you. I'm just teasing, but we have everything that we need down there. We've got some free weights. We've got a nice weight machine, a Hoist V5. Hoist is the company, V5 is the product. I love it. I would endorse that as well. And maybe I'll do a tour down there at some point. We've got some balancing equipment, some yoga mats. I'm sure we have, some rubber strengthening bands. We've got some stuff down there, but it's a really simple home gym. And when we added that in, we were able to cut our monthly expense of our gym membership, but we lost our sauna. So we've been saying for over a year now that we're going to save up for a sauna and put one down there. But the reality is we haven't saved. We've been saving for other stuff too. So again, the sauna is kind of on the back burner. We use hot showers to kind of induce that heat and that sweat. But man, if I see it's something I need to move here. If you have access to a sauna, by all means, please do it. Speaking of sweating, guys, when we sweat, we're getting rid of toxins, right? So use that to your advantage. And I added exercise in here as well. It can be anything, maybe some hot yoga. I should have put hot yoga in there. Thanks for watching me edit my document here. Hot yoga, it could be something like jumping jacks, jumping rope. It doesn't matter what it is. Get some hits in, high intensity interval training sessions every single day. And that will help you out as well. But I want you guys sweating and moving. When we're pumping the heart and moving that blood and sweating it out, guys, your body is moving toxins out as well. And it doesn't cost anything to run in place for 4 minutes, and work up a good sweat. If you need more info on HIITs, high intensity interval training sessions, which we implement with all of our clients, and at least we hope they implement it, we tell them to, private message me and I'll send you some YouTube videos, easy peasy. There's some really great ones out there. There's actually a great video on HIITs from some kids in India, and they're up on top of a roof overlooking whatever city they're in. and they've got some great pumped up music going. And oh my God, they are so coordinated. And what I love about it, it says hits for beginners or something like beginning hits or something like that. Guys, it is so advanced. There is no way that I could do it. I've been doing hits and exercising and doing yoga for quite a while, and there is no way I could do what these kids are doing. So I love the fact that it's a beginning hit, video. But I'll share that one too if you guys private message me. Speaking of skin and sweating stuff out, you can also dry brush your skin. This is a great thing to do before a shower. Just get an exfoliating brush, and instead of using it in the shower, just use it all over your body before you get in the shower. First of all, you're getting rid of dead skin cells. That's always good anyway. That helps with cellular turnover. You're actually helping your body get rid of junk. That exfoliation also opens up the pores, dilates the blood vessels, and really prepares your body to start secreting toxins through the skin again. Any brush will do. You don't need, a $50 exfoliating brush. Man, I was at the dollar store the other day. I don't remember what I was getting, but like a pen or something, or a pack of pens. And they had exfoliating brushes there, I think 2 for $1. How long do they last? I don't know, but they were 2 for $1, So, I mean, even if they lasted, a month, I mean, you've got a total of like, $6 a year built in there in exfoliating brushes. And I think that's, you're worth $6 a year, whatever that is. Amazon might even have them cheaper. Who knows? But dry brush your skin to get toxins to the pores. And then kind of the big thing on here that's an expense or an investment is an air purifier. There are different types of air purifiers. There are whole house air purifiers that would fit, like if you have central air and a central blower that you could affix to that blower so that there's a massive filter. They're like a foot and a half thick where the air blows through it, and you change it out, once or twice a year. They're like $150 a filter. But man, those are awesome. Talk about getting rid of particulate matter and allergens and pollens and molds and all that stuff in the air. That stuff is awesome. A lot of times, some of those will incorporate on the back end of that filter UV light to kill off any pathogens that might have gotten through. That is cool. Rachel and I are saving up for one of those as well. I had the fortune to live in a house that had one of those a number of houses ago. I didn't live there all that long, only 2 years. But man, it was awesome. I loved it. It was so weird. You could cook bacon on the stove, and you know how the whole house smells like bacon. And like 10 minutes later, it was sterile air. It was the weirdest thing in the world. But you got to keep those filters changed. Nonetheless, those are about, they $1,500 to $2,500 to get installed, on your system. That's a pretty big expense. But you can even just go down to a place like Target or go to Amazon and get a really good air filter. Make sure to get one. And again, some of these room air filters, they have UV light built in. They have HEPA filters. They get rid of 99.9% of particulate matter. They're killing off pathogens. And again, I would recommend at minimum getting one of those in your bedroom. You spend a lot of time in your bedroom. All you do in there is lay in there and breathe. So again, get at least an air purifier in your bedroom. Rach and I have one. Well, in our house, we have one in all the bedrooms. We've 3 bedrooms here. So all the bedrooms have an air purifier of some sort. We've tried different ones out through the years. And, the ones that I like, I'll tell you, are the ones where the filters are washable. What I found, and this is me, I have found that filters that I have to replace, like buy something and replace it, I'm going to forget to buy it, or I'm going to, maybe I'll buy a pack of 12, and next thing I know, I'm out of the 12th one, and then I'm like, oh, I got to remember to do that, and then a year will go by and I won't replace it, and those don't work for me. So I get the kind that you can remove the filter, wash it under the faucet in the bathtub. That's the only place, because they're usually pretty big. They sometimes don't fit in the sink. And so wash it out, let it air dry, and then, in the morning, and then in the evening, pop it back in, and it's ready to go. Typically, you only have to wash those not even once a month. Most of them have a little signal light that says, hey, it's time to clean your filter, when the computer on the air filter will tell you, hey, it's time to do that. So again, you're going to spend, I don't know, $50 to $200 on that, per room. So again, I would tell you this, I don't care how many square feet it says that it covers. If it's like this one air filter does 3,000 square feet, just set it in your living room, I'm going to call malarkey on that. I would get, an air filter for each room. So don't overbuy with the capacity of the square footage. Just make sure to get one that fits that room. And again, bedrooms are the most key places, in my opinion. Probably after that, living room, right? Think about the places that you spend the most time. I'm going to look into in our bathrooms. I think a lot of people have those exhaust fans that are in the bathrooms. I'm actually going to look to see if those can be converted into a tiny little micro air filter. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but what a cool idea. And if nobody's thought of that before, and I just thought of it, I'm going to say trademark, copyright, patent pending. I'm just teasing. If those things don't exist and you're watching this, go make that product. That could be $1 million idea, right? Who knows? But nonetheless, I've been thinking about that for a little bit. I haven't researched it at all. It probably exists. Almost everything exists these days. And it's probably cheap, and we can buy it from China, right? Nonetheless, with now only a 7.5% tariff coming in. So again, that was a semi-political statement. I'll let you guys run with it. But nonetheless, guys, we covered 12 areas. Almost all of them are free to implement or have very, very, very little expense. And again, I hope that helped with some advanced detoxification techniques. These are things, again, that you should be doing now, or start implementing all of these now, but just keep doing. This isn't like we're doing this for 21 days. And then I get to go back to, my unhealthy habits, guys. We're laying down a foundation for health now and for years to come, right? Not only should you be doing this, but your whole family should be doing this. Anybody that lives with you, spread it out with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your colleagues, your church mates, anybody that you can help, guys. I believe that our only reason to be on this planet is to love and help and serve each other. So guys, I'm going to ask you guys for your help. If you're watching this, do me a favor. I hope if you've gotten value from this, please do me a favor. Make sure to tell a few people, I don't know, 2 or 3 people about the Epic 5 community. In fact, just add them in and I'll add them in. It'll be your gift to them. And guys, if there's somebody that you think that needs our personal help, I'm going to ask you guys to reach out to at least one person and refer them over to Epic. Help us connect. Do a Facebook message where you're connecting me and you and that person and say, hey, Dr. B, this is Jenny. Jenny needs your help. Jenny, this is Dr. B. He can help you. Go. And I will take over at that point. Guys, our mission in 2020 is to help serve and support as many people as possible, to get our message out, to help people reclaim their health, their happiness, their lives, and take control of their future. And I cannot do it without you. I'm just one guy in Iowa trying to serve the world. Listen, I love you guys. I hope you got value out of that. I'll be back at least next Tuesday through Friday at noon again. That's the plan. If I can do a Monday, I will. My Monday schedule is always a little hairy because I'm setting up for the week. But if I can, I will. Keep posting your pictures of your food. Keep posting the pictures of your the foods, and post recipes. Post pictures of yourself. I would love to see before and after pictures of people. I know everybody's losing weight, so let's post those pictures on the Epic 5 Plan community as well. And really, again, the reason we want to do that stuff, guys, is to help motivate others, motivate other people in the community that might not be as far along as you are, that might have committed in their head, but they're having a hard time implementing, or maybe they have a jerk of a spouse that keeps sabotaging them. Guys, let's use that community to support and love each other and push each other forward to have the happiest and healthiest 2020 that we can have. I love you guys. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and I will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.